guys, welcome back. So part 2, that's what we're doing. We've got a little video. For some reason it didn't come with instructions for some of the pieces, so we're gonna watch a video kind of thing, but kind of know what I'm doing. No, I don't. We're gonna be going outside to the shed, or to the shop, sorry, and we're gonna get some sandpaper. And what we want to do is we just want to sand down all the little edges so they fit pretty uniform into each other, so there's no gaps and stuff like that. So I didn't want to bore you guys with all the pieces being put out and then taking all the pieces, the resin pieces out. Some of them, they're a little bit harder, like this one here I'm showing you. This shit's hard to take out. Now, again, if this was something that was super important that had to get done, I would spend more time on it. But that's the inside. You're never going to see this. It's going to be against, like, glued together. What I'm going to be doing mostly is like pieces like the top here that you see. Let me see if I can find a piece that didn't look too good. This one here. This is part of the head piece here, like whatever goes on there. There's going to be some sort of foam that's going to be covering that so you don't see it. Again, this is just for fun, showing you guys that it can be done, and we'll do it. So let me get outside with this stuff and start the sanding. I'll be back. All right, guys, welcome back to Choose Your Own Path. Sorry, I got my respirator on here. Here we go. We got it all glued up, ready to go. Lots of sanding because we had to put some crazy glue and baking soda to fill in lots of open cracks. Gonna fill those in anyway, who cares? Gonna just smooth it down. So what I'm doing is I'm losing my face, hold on, is I'm gonna bring it down and I'm gonna show you. You see all this spot here, we just gotta sand it down smoothly. We're gonna put some Bondo on it. The Bondo is gonna, you know, seal it up kind of thing. And then we're just gonna flat sand it. So let me just show you what I'm doing. I'll get it all set up. All right. So we're not. Let me get you up here. This is like rock. Like we're talking. It's fucking salt. Baking soda and crazy glue really. They do a really crazy hard form. But even as ugly as that is, there's gaps in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow all this off. I'm gonna go get my spray and my Bondo, and we are gonna start off by just putting that on, and then when that dries, you'll be able to see like the lines and what we need to be sanding more. The Bondo is gonna help the most. Okay, so I'll be back. All right, so we're gonna start off by this is called Flex Fill. It's a multi-purpose filler. It's for plastic and stuff like that, fiberglass. So we're gonna put on our mask. And we're just gonna give it a couple of lights. We're gonna give a couple of coats on this. Let's see what it looks like. Wear your mask. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that dry. Now it doesn't matter if it's runny or something like that. We're gonna sand it down anyway. So we're gonna let it dry for a while. It'll take up, well, at least 20 minutes, half an hour kind of thing. And then we'll go over it and sand it. Do it again, and then that's just gonna fill in the little cracks. It's not even doing much. It's almost like just a spray paint, but it's a filler. And then when we're done that, we're gonna get the Bondo out, and we're basically gonna cover the whole thing again. So, all right, say hi to everybody. This is Jeremy. This is my second oldest. So he's COVID. No, it's just the smell is bad. So. We're going to start off by, what he's doing is he's putting tape on the inside, because if you look on some of the sides here, we got quite a bit of gaps that need to be filled in. Again, this is, you know, our first helmet. Yeah, and it's this was 16 pieces that we had to glue together, and we had fun trying to glue it together. My son helped me here. So we're going to start off by, like I said, just taping that in. And then we're going to be using this glaze and spot putty. The rest of it's in French. It's a Bondo. So what we did was we hit it with a filler. And you can see what happened. you can see all the crap. So what he'll be doing is he'll be filling up inside the cracks and also going on the side, trying to smooth. Basically, the putty has to go almost on 3/4 of the helmet. Yeah. It's going to go all over the helmet. Sand it down and redo it, because we got some high-end spots. Like here's really high. In the back here, I noticed this is really high here.
Have to get
blended in. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is one of our first times, but we're gonna try our best to make this look good. So we'll get this organized, and when we're set up, we'll show you the rest. Okay. So we're starting off by adding the Bondo. As you can see, he's just gonna spread it on there. Trying to get as much as we can one way or the other, I guess, because the stuff has to dry, and then we have to re-sand it. See, I think that's why you probably would use your fingers first if you had to. And you just kind of, because it's got to, you probably have to fill it up first. Once you pour a whole shitload there, and then there we go. And then,
but it's not exactly the
best consistency. Just one finger here. You literally got to spread it everywhere anyway. Just be careful you're not, covering up some of the original like grooves, right? So yeah. So he's just, again, just lightly trying to spread it everywhere, get it, build up some of the sides, take out some of the sides. Literally, this will make it easier when it dries to sand. I've seen, like, it looks like it's getting hard already, like it's starting to dry there. I've seen lots of videos where guys are using wood filler to do this kind of a project. I'm just gonna add some more here, which is, it's a good idea, I guess, too. This is our first helmet. So this is one of the first projects that I'm doing with my son. What we're gonna do is probably do a couple of things together. We have some dioramas that are being asked to be made. Someone just got a hold of me for another Warhammer diorama. We'll probably do that together, and get things worked out and make the boy a little bit of money, and it helps us out too, and it helps out the channel, because then we can show everybody what we're doing. So that's a good thing. I guess we're running out fast.
It's already starting to harden.
It's starting to harden today, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to work a little quicker. Like I said, we're probably gonna have to go get more. Hopefully we have enough of this tube. Probably to at least do the top and the lines. Probably most of the lines. He says it seems to be hardening. Doesn't take long. It didn't really say how long it takes to harden. I don't know.
It's kind of starting to feel like Play-Doh.
Like a Play-Doh kind of mixture, yeah.
Yeah, more than like. Well, this is auto body stuff, right? So it's just for spots. It's not meant to do this. Yeah,
it's not meant to make a whole coverage, but I mean, with 3D printing, what happens is when you do the 3D printing, you get a lot of layer lines, which means as it builds, as the helmet builds up, it has to make, like, it loses a lot of its shape by putting one layer on top of the other. So now what you're looking at is a lot of buildup that has to be hidden in order to make, like, if you're making this for cosplay or if you had a customer, I'm doing my job, had a customer that really wanted this to look nice, you would spend a lot of time on this. I think what we can do is maybe invest in maybe the bigger things of Bondo. They have bigger pails of Bondo if we wanted to do another one of these.
Like actual body filler.
Body filler. I think that's what it is, though. It's a Bondo body filler. Yeah. So.
But you do something that's like a whole coverage instead of just a spot.
Yeah. This is made for just. Basically, what we're doing is we're just trying to cover all the little holes you could see there. so that it could start off as, you know, the first layer. We're not going to spend a crazy amount of time on this helmet, as in, we're not going to make it look like super high grade. This is going to be my helmet, or my buddy's helmet, whatever he wants. But it's a practice run for us, right? So what we're doing is we're trying something we've never done before. We're trying material. We have squeeze it on, okay. We're trying materials we've never had used before. We're just really trying to get things working. Just, I think, focus more on the lines, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about like building it up yet. Let's just focus on getting that whole rounded line out. Keep on rubbing it everywhere.
Next time, I think maybe if you wet your gloves before.
Let's see if I can try. I'm gonna try some too while you're there. So I guess what it is you can't be shy with putting it on. You can't be just babying it. Just push it down. Except for my gloves are too big.
Oh yeah,
like this. You know what I mean? Push it down. Don't be, because you want to flatten it out, but you want to spread it also, I think. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a messy process of this. I think we have it a little bit thick, too thick at times, but whatever becomes drying, hopefully it'll be a lot better. We'll see. Try to get it into some of the cracks that we can't get to later, and we're gonna clean it. So we'll be back. All right, guys, so we're on the second coat of Bondo, which I'm not really sure if I like it. I mean, it's okay to use, whatever, but there's going to be a lot of hand sanding. I'm not going to go too crazy with this one in the sense, because there's a lot of crap that I have to do down here. This is what happens when you're printing helmets in 13 pieces or 16 pieces compared to if you just did it to one. But then again, there's a lot of settings that have to be fixed. Be careful when you're using sanders, what grit you're using, because you'll end up doing shit like that. But you know, it's all, I cut it through, so easy to fix, just add more. Had one of the subscribers mentioned that maybe try, well, epoxy. Well, why not? The Bondo that I bought just now, it's a fiberglass, so you can see the fiberglass in it. I mean, it's sanded okay. That's gonna take forever to put another coat on, so might be trying that for the next. This is just experimental helmets, right? Just for me. So this is just for fucking around with. I'm just having a fun time with it. A little bit here, a little bit there. All right, so we're gonna sand a bit more, and then we're gonna throw another layer of sealer on it, which is the filler. I mean, not sealer. I said, you know what I mean. Filler. Let it dry, and then sand a bit more and see what happens. We might just call it a damaged helmet or two. We'll see. All right, be right back. So we're back, and what we're gonna do is show you something different. Now, we showed you the helmet where we put Bondo on it and sanded, and holy cow, I'm not using Bondo anymore. It's way too hard on my system and everything else. So I went and used wood glue. Wood filler. Now, I learned a little trick here. This one's not bad. It worked out pretty good. But what you want to do is you want to take your wood filler and you want to add some water to it. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to end up painting the whole surface of our project. So just get yourself a paintbrush. Doesn't matter. You just want it to go on there. Now what this is going to do is it's actually going to go into all the grooves, and it's going to hide a lot more of the layer lines and everything. Now I'm putting it on fairly thin, as in, you know, watered down. Plus I have some on the brush. Now you could use your hands if you want. The brush works really well because the brush allows it to, you know, spread it evenly. So what you all want to do is just get a good amount of it on like this, and just, you know, you don't have to do the whole helmet. You really want to get to the spots that are, say, the worst. Because I know this didn't print 100% the way it should have. We had a lot of string issues. Got a hold of the company, the guy who I made the last video from, using his PLA, and he kind of explained to me what happens with this green stuff. So I will have that more explained. It's still good PLA, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make anybody's you know, like, most brands, all brands are pretty good. It's just, there's a lot of settings and dialing up and stuff like that you have to do. So, you know, give it a chance, give it a break, give it a try. How's that? You know, we got a couple more brands that we're gonna test out. We promised that we test out, and they'll be coming up soon. And we also have something else that just came in, but I'm not going to show you that yet. Not yet. Anyway, so again, wood filler with some water, and what you want to do is paint it up, sort of paint it up, put it on there, not too thick, not too thin, because you're going to want to sand this down. It doesn't take long, like what, an hour or two, maybe even less, because it's thinner, or because this is more of a watery substance, it may take a little bit longer. But you'll actually fill up all those little grooves, and then we're going to sand this down. We're going to paint the other one. I'll show you the other helmet because we're working on it. Same thing, we put some Bondo on it. Problem with it is it's very bumpy and kind of yucky looking. And Bondo, again, is very, very hard to use. So let me get this painted up and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so after we've added the wood filler, we got them both added. I went ahead and sanded it. Now, I wasn't going to show you guys that because it's boring as hell and it took a long time. So just a sanding brush, sponge, you see, one of these guys, and just lightly sand it, okay? And then what I did was I just kind of looked over what is, you know, this is my first two helmets that I'm doing. They're going to be mine, unless, you know, somebody wants them, I guess, kind of thing, if I sell them up. So I'm just showing you guys the basics of what I know to do. So sanding them down, then taking a wet cloth, wiping around, and then just seeing if there's any imperfections. There's some. It's not super crazy, but there's some. So what I want to do, and you don't have to, is I'd like to put some primer on this. So let me set this up. And all right, so I loaded up my gun, and I know there's mistakes in here. There's little pits and all that, but that could also add to the helmet, because if you want a perfect helmet, brand new, store-bought helmet, you go to Walmart, you go order it from China or something like that. We're just making our own, and you know what? If this looks kind of dented up, smashed up, it's because it's part of the character. So we're just going to turn on our fan. Excuse me. Good flow of air, and we're just going to lay some. This is just a gray primer. Probably best to get like a can of primer. Would work a lot better. Unfortunately, it's nighttime, so I'm not going to go outside and do that. And all I want to do is I want to really make sure that where you can see the green, that was the green from the filament. You want to make sure that's got a good coat of primer on it, so that the paint can stick to it well. This primer that I'm using isn't exactly, well, it's a model primer. You know, it's a surface primer, gray. It's, I don't know who the hell makes it, but it's good for minis and stuff like that. Not too worried about it. I just want to get some primer on here so that I can start painting the actual color of the Mandalorian helmet. Now, I've seen some different versions of people painting. I think the basic color is gray though, gray with a little bit of black, dark black to it. So there is some difference. I mean, I guess you want to keep it true to the movie. We'll try to keep that color going, but I don't even know if I have a proper gray to put on here. We'll see. I'd have liked this to have been Boba Fett's helmet, but there's something missing, and it's just not the right helmet. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with this, and then I'll come back. All right, after doing a little bit of, what am I thinking here? After doing a little bit of priming, I'm not going to prime, like, I didn't put a heavy coat of primer on the big helmet because it's going to be pitch black. This guy, I did a pretty good surface cover. Now, what I want to do is I want to let this dry till tomorrow because it's got quite a bit of primer on. So tomorrow I will have the last part of these helmets, which will be painted. This one pitch black. This one will be grayish, I guess. And then I will show you how I'll do my version of the eye visors that go inside. Obviously, this one will fit nothing but my cat or somebody with a very, very tiny head. This one will fit us. And we also got to make the cap thing. So we're going to use that as another video. So stay tuned for the next one. Hey, if I can do it, you can do it. The missing tooth. Somebody made a comment about that. You know, I feel sorry for the guy who's still sucking his food through a straw because he did this. Fuck that, eh? All right, check the next one out. All right, guys, so we're on the second coat of Bondo, which I'm not really sure if I like it. I mean, it's okay to use, whatever, but there's going to be a lot of hand sanding. I'm not going to go too crazy with this one in the sense because there's a lot of crap that I have to do down here. This is what happens when you're printing helmets in 13 pieces or 16 pieces compared to if you just did it to one. But then again, there's a lot of settings that have to be fixed. Be careful when you're using sanders, what grit you're using, because you'll end up doing shit like that. But you know, it's all, I cut it through, so easy to fix, just add more. Had one of the subscribers mentioned that maybe try, well, epoxy. Well, why not? The Bondo that I bought just now, it's a fiberglass, so you can see the fiberglass in it. I mean, it's sanded okay. That's gonna take forever to put another coat on, so might be trying that for the next. This is just experimental helmets, right? Just for me. So this is just for fucking around with. I'm just having a fun time with it. A little bit here, a little bit there. All right, so we're gonna sand a bit more, and then we're gonna throw another layer of sealer on it, which is the filler. I mean, not sealer. I said, you know what I mean. Filler. Let it dry, and then sand a bit more and see what happens. We might just call it a damaged helmet or two. We'll see. All right, be right back.